It's time once again to go racing.
It does not get any better than this.
The pressure is really on now.
Yes, it's pole position. Lights out and we're racing in PSGL.
The first lap has been absolute chaos.
What an overtake.
Oh no!
I've never seen anything like it.
Side by side again. This will be settled right at the end. Mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. Can't even get my own introduction right. I'm that excited. Welcome to PSGL PCF2 League round number 4 for season 30 here at Paul Ricard. Those who were paying attention yesterday will recognise my voice. Yes, I was standing in for Mr. Ginger Andy yesterday for the F1 tier. And wow, were we treated to an incredible array of spectacular racing yesterday. Let's have a check-in with our championship, shall we? And there it is. So, Simon Perroni still at the top of the table with a 6-point lead over Thomas Ronhard. Luke Smith right there battling with Tom Martinez and Duncan Hoffland, with Sam McBride in very short succession as well. Jack Laverty, Ruben Pedreño, Oscar Villacampa and Jack West rounding out the top 10. We have got a full lobby here in PSGL F2, and I do believe we have no stand-ins, which I'm really, really excited about. Team-wise, let's have a check-in with them. It is McLaren just over Alfa Romeo in the top spots. Alpine not far behind, with Mercedes in hot pursuit, Williams and Red Bull joint on points in 5th position. A little bit further back is Haas, Ferrari, Aston Martin and AlphaTauri training at the back of the field. Before we have even time to go through that, we are heading into the server. It is me, King Kodiak, here once again. Aladar is unfortunately away, I believe. He's not going to be with us until March, so you'll have to deal with me for the remainder of this month at least, of which I apologise for. Actually, no, I don't, because I'm that excited to be doing this all over again. So here we are in Paul Ricard once again. I don't even have my track map up. I was a little bit rushed coming into tonight. Wholeheartedly apologise. Let me just grab my track map, which is why the stream has paused. That is, do not adjust your sets, viewer. That is on me. It is that map I need. Right, let's shrink that so I can see everything else going on. And let's start shouting about our gladiators heading out on track, shall we? Make sure the stream is good. Make sure you lovely people can see what is going on in chat. Well, actually, before we do that, one thing I've forgotten to do is bring up the track map. And why is that not working? That is because I've forgotten to load in the correct one. Let's try that again. There we go. It is Le Castellet or Paul Ricard that we are facing here. This long, elegant circuit that was really, really testing. Long straight and lots of twisty bits for our competitors to have to deal with this time around. So, very much looking forward to this. Let's see how we get on. I have no sound again. Thank you. I remember that word last time. Just making sure that all is well with my settings. And that looks very murky, doesn't it? Now, we did have rain literally as the checker flag fell. Last time out, it was the last time out yesterday. Although a half and half split of mediums and softs at the moment. Okay. So no one is anticipating the weather doing silly things. Let's see who we got. Jack West is out there already very early with the outlet. Jack Laverty in the house. We have Luke Smith. Storming performance yesterday. He's invalidated his outlap, which is a great trick if ever I saw one, in the Alpine. Sam McBride, Williams, also doing very well on the F1. Hughes Nordyke is with us in the Mercedes. We have got Norbert Jakob back with us again. Paris Burrell, I believe, if I remember correctly, is now full-time in this season. Simon Perroni has yet to leave the pits, our championship leader. One of our championship frontrunners, Duncan Hoffland, in the Mercedes, is just coming around to start his first time lap. Jeffrey Ritchie, has he taken over a full-time seat? I thought he was a reserve, so I didn't see that we had any reserves tonight, because I'm fairly sure Jeffrey Ritchie is a reserve. Apologies if I do have that wrong. Thomas Ronha for McLaren just leaving the pits and getting onto the field. Primoz Miklovic. Nice effort. Nice effort? What am I saying? Glad to have you on board. Nice effort. Your outlap was fantastic, sir. My brain is fried. It has been a very, very busy week. Jake Benham telling me to shush. Well, I'm assuming you were telling me to shush there, Jake. Andreas Dormeyer in the Ferrari is with it. Ika Bania is in the pits yet to get going, along with Will Lewis, who we saw yesterday. Andre Cherebukin is out on field as well. We have Jona Martins, our hobby loast. Yes, our hobby loast. Chana Kinchi, good to see you on the field as well. Ruben Pedreño doing a sterling job in representing F2 yesterday in the F1 lobby, and Tom Martinez also yet to leave the field. Now, where is Mr. Hoffman? There he is. He's invalidated his lap. Well, it's the first lap of the qualifying session. You're allowed, and he's doing what most people do, just using the epileptic runoff areas, as I call them. Is he going to go again, or is he going to pit? Whoop, Hughes Nordyke going for a bit of an explore there as well. Curious, we've got so many medium runners out there. He's going again. All right, so Duncan Hoffland is running again. Norbert Jakob, first time of the board, the 28.616. That's a decent lap, actually, as a sighted lap. I believe it was a 27.9 was the pole time yesterday in F1, and it was by... It wasn't Brendan Lee. Oh, my memory. I commentated on it, so I should know. It was by... Was it Nicholas Longer? Nicholas Longer that got it. Well, all eyes are going to be on Simon Perroni. This is his home circuit. I mean, that doesn't always give you an advantage in sim racing terms, but, it's a fun little thing to throw in there. So it's Simon Perroni. He's leaving it quite late to come out. Quite a few people yet to get out on field. There's Norbert Jakob, currently top of the tree with a 28.616, going the direct route through the chicane. It was Nicola. I thought it was Mr. Longuet after I thought about it. Thank you very much for confirming that one in the chat. Glad to see people getting involved. Always welcome here, whether you're watching live or post-event. You're always welcome. Jeffrey Ritchie up into second position at 28.686 with Paris Burrell. I haven't seen a lot of Paris so far this season, so glad to see him back in the seat. Luke Smith with a 29.2 on the board on the medium tyres. Roughly, it's usually around 6 to 8 tenths difference tyre compound to tyre compound, so there's still time to find out there. Has the cheating allegation been resolved? Well, that's not really something I'm going to get into. I personally don't believe them. It's one of these things that is down to personal speculation. I'm not going to get into it. I think Luke Smith is doing a fantastic job in what he's doing. Will Lewis thinking about he's going out on the inters now. We saw this actually yesterday. It took me a bit by surprise. So people going out the inters to purely save their soft tyres. So there's logic in it. A couple of people did set times on the inters whilst it was bone dry. There's no rain at the moment. It definitely looks like it's looming, doesn't it? As a reminder, it is just the short qualifying sessions of one 18-minute session where all 20 cars take place within it. So we're not doing the three-phase qualifying that we see in the top tier. There is Ruben Pedreño. On his time lap, his teammate Thomas Ronha in 5th position with a 29.414. So Ruben's gone for the soft tyres. Ronha with the mediums. That's Tom Martinez getting out of the way. Screaming on towards... Oh, I've got my track map obscured by my OBS window. That's clever of me. Corba Decinis Now, again, I apologise if I don't get the pronunciations of these right. Foreign languages is not my strong suit. I've just about got a handle on English, let alone trying to get French correct. Virage de Bendor is the left-hander we've just gone through. Now, Courbe de Galabon. And it's into the pits for Rim Pedreño. Invalid in that last sector. Okay. Who is out there? Sam McBride is still going in the Williams. Well, he's done a couple of time laps, a 29.9 for him on the board. Simon Perroni, championship leader and home talent of this circuit. Simon has been fantastic this season so far. A F3 champion, I believe, if I remember that correctly. Purple in Sector 1. Which you would expect me to get a little bit more excited about that, but we are still not even halfway through the session just yet, so that's why I'm reserving the top screaming for a while. Someone's joined the session that's not in the race, but there's no room for you anyway. As Simon Perroni rejoins the Mistral Straight through Courbe de Sinis, and there's the guest left again. And the double droid de Busset. Again, hopefully I'm getting these pronunciations somewhere near right. The Virage de Bendor. The Courbe de Galabin. There's the right-hander. Sweeps into the left. The Virage de la Tour. And then the Virage du Pont. Final turn. Oh, wow. Using every available pixel of room. Over the line for Perroni, and wow, a 28.3, the new pole time. That's edging closer to what we saw at the top of the tree in F1 yesterday. Nice job. Martinez is just coming over the line, but his time is invalid. He looks like he could well be on for... well, he looks like he's got enough fuel to make this lap count as well. A few people coming back out on track. Norbert Jakob in the Ferrari is just coming to the end of his second outlap, along with Jeffrey Ritchie. Where is he? He's on the Mistral Straight with one of the Alphas behind him. Luke Smith, Thomas Ronhart, and Paris Burrell all out there as well, along with the two Mercedes, Joost Noordijk and Duncan Hofland. Duncan's just started another time lap. Oh, there's someone taking a scenic route. That's one of the Astons. It can't be Bain yet because he's still in the pit, so that must be Primož Miklovic. Again, hopefully I'm getting your name somewhere near correct. 130.0 on the board for Primož at the moment. His outlap is invalid, which again is a good trick. Let's check in with Norbert Jakob getting past one of the McLarens on the Mistral Straight. Both of them are out there, so it could be either one of them. One of the Alphas about to cross the line. It is likely to be Jonas Martinez. It is indeed Jonas Martinez starting his next time lap, or next attempt at a time lap, as Simon Perroni comes back into the pits. One of the Red Bulls, I think that is, crossing the line. It's Jeffrey Ritchie? It was indeed Jeffrey Ritchie coming over the line. Starting another time lap on another set of soft tyres. Most people now going towards the softs. Norbert's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. A very empty fuel tank. Again, yellow flags are to be fairly ignored in the qualifying session. An improvement for... an improvement in time but not position for Norbert Jakob. Half a tenth. Closer towards the top of the 128.537. Duncan Hofland up into 5th position now with a 29.214. So there's still time out there. There's still that time out there to find. Will Lewis has started the time lap along with Andre Terabukin, Jonas Martins and Ruben Pedreño. Let's have a look at Miklovic now. Oh, he's invalidated his lap coming into the first turn. Oh dear, oh dear. And that's the nature of this circuit. You have to use every available pixel, so you flirt very dangerously with the outside of the circuit, which sounds like an obvious statement because you try and do that everywhere anyway, but because of there's being so many turns, and your exit from each corner is usually greeted by a decent amount of right foot off for a straight, it's really quite crucial here in particular to get a decent run through the corners. Paris Burrell, are you pressing on? Yeah, you're deploying ERS energy, so let's follow you through the third sector then. Currently fourth with a 28.771. What can he do from here? He's got a 10th or so. Well, he's got a 10th-ish to find to get into the top three. Going through the sweeping right-hander of Kirby de Galabon. Now Virage de Tour. Try again. Virage de la Tour, and then the Virage de Pont to finish the lap. There's a McLaren coming over the line. It's not Ron Hart, it's Pedreño, and that's a new pole time for Pedreño. Oh, 28.206, and that's still fourth, an improvement in time, but not position. For Paris Burrell, a 28.557, 200ths of a second behind Norbert Jakob. A great effort, though, for Pedreño. A 28.206 on the board. Very good effort there. Jona Martins had invalidated his last lap. Is he pushing on? No, he's got a very empty fuel tank, so he's likely to be coming in. Yes, Duncan Hofland and Joost Noordijk, the Flying Dutchman, representing Mercedes in this one. Duncan Hofland back in the... Actually, they're both back in the pits. What is Will Lewis up to? He's on the medium tyres. Got that's Pedreño, a new pole sitter on the left-hand side, and a very empty fuel tank for the Haas. He's not got a lot of time, but should just about have enough time to come in and get new tyres on the board. Ikebania is out there. Oh, that's an invalid lap for the Aston Martin. So no improvement set for him. Ronha, you've already set a lap, so you'll be coming in. Your full fuel tank is actually empty. So a limp back into the pits for you. And Pedreño is, yeah, he's heading up to that same section. So everybody at this point is just going to be coming in. We do have someone coming back out. It is Jeffrey Ritchie, as we're coming up to the Banzai phase, as I call it. It's the final few minutes of the qualifying session where you get just this mad rush of cars coming out on track. So Jeffrey Ritchie's beaten the rush, essentially. Coming out a bit early. Out comes Simon Perroni as well. He doesn't want to be tied up in traffic. That's one of the Astons as well coming out. Both of the Astons are continuing. So actually, Ikebania has opted to continue. Oh, no, he's bailed on that one. Oh, I can't see he's going to have enough time to come into the pits, reshoe the car as someone sends a bollard flying, and get back out there with only 3 minutes to go, and he's still got, 2 sectors of the lap to do. So trouble for Ikebania, and that's a very slow. Is that Tom Martinez? No. Jeffrey Ritchie's just taking his time, revving the life out of his engine. Where is Pironi? There he is, just coming through the chicane, ready to fly through his last time lap. Along with Duncan Hofland back out, Jack West, Primoz Miklovic, and Joost Noordijk also coming out on circuit now. The field are actually doing well to space themselves out. A lot of the time, they leave it to the very last second and all flood out as Pironi gets out of the way of what I assume is Ikebania that's just gone past. Yep, and we know that lap's invalid. So he'll be flying straight back into the pits. And hopefully he'll have time to reshoe the car and have another go at a fast lap. There is Jeffrey Ritchie screaming into the Virage de la Tail and Virage de Camp. Support for Tom Martinez. Good to see. And that's an invalid lap for Jeffrey Ritchie. He will do no more from there. He will not have time to come out and to get back to the pits and do another lap unless he's got enough fuel on board to do another lap this time around. Alfa Romeo coming over the line. It's not Pironi. It is Jona Martins, it must be. Yep, it is indeed. He's now setting a time lap on the board. Is Pironi pushing on? Yes, he is. I think he was purple in the sector 1. He's got traffic ahead. This is not what he wants, is Will Lewis. Oh, that could have potentially cost Pironi some time. But Will Lewis wasn't there wasn't really anywhere for Will to go. He was on an outlap, but I was a little bit unlucky. Screaming through into Sector 3 for Pyrenee. That definitely cost him time in that middle sector. The traffic ahead of him should hopefully not interfere too much. He's got an Alpine. It's Tarabukin, who stays very much out of the way, and a McLaren. Nicely done. The Pedreño, I think. So the final turn for Simon Pyrenee. He won't have enough fuel to do another lap. Is this an improvement? It is. It's a 28.198, and bearing in mind he was held up at the chicane. Oh, what could have been for Simon Pyrenee. So he does claim the top spot by 8 thousandths of a second. What can the McLaren of Ruben Pedreño answer with? As he himself now screams towards the end of the first sector, and Miklovic has retired his car. Has he done that in the pits? So hopefully he has. Yes, he has. There is an Aston in the pits, and now my phone is ringing. That is really inopportune. No idea. Well, I will let the answer phone deal with that one. No, my wife got that. Lovely. Into the chicane for Pedreño. What can the Spaniard do? He's very light on fuel, as you would imagine. The checkered flag is now out. There's improvements to be found. He only has to find an 8 thousandths of a second to reclaim that pole spot. Simon Pyrenee will not be able to respond. Oh, Joost Noordijk now shows up to the party. Oh, as the tail of the McLaren gets very, very loose. And ghosts as well, for good measure. My goodness. And Pedreño bails. The too much time lost on that one. But Joost Noordijk at 28.073 to take the pole time. Very much out of nowhere there. Luke Smith has invalidated his lap. What about Will Lewis? Everyone out there on soft tyres. The only one that wasn't was Chana Kinchi. He's back in the pits. As Will Lewis has now got a face full of Ferrari coming through the last turn. I'm assuming that's Andreas Dormeyer. And Will Lewis pulls over. His day is done. Dormeyer gets a 29.3 on the board. Nicely done. Nicely done indeed. What about Ikebania? As Pyrenee has retired from the session. Oh, wow. As Ikebania had to take some avoiding tactics there. A slow Mercedes caught him out very much so. That could have been nasty. There's Norbert Jacob's car. That's probably might be under AI control at the moment. What can Ikebania do? As he screams towards Virage de la Tour. Now Virage Dupont. What is on the board for Ikebania? And it is a 29.5, which sees him into 13th position. So there it is. It's a... My goodness me. Joost Noordijk in the Mercedes and Simon Pyrenee, championship leader, on the front row. Wow, that's a great effort there. Ruben Pedreño and Duncan Hofland is looking good for Mercedes at the moment on row 2. And then there's going to be Norbert Jacob and Paris Burrell on row 3. Jeffrey Ritchie and Luke Smith row 4. Andreas Dormeyer and Will Lewis on row 5. We'll go through the rest of the grid when they reappear. Wow. A couple of people not able to set a lap time, unfortunately, which will see them at the back. Thomas Ronhar and Sam McBride, row 6. Ikebania and Jack West, row 7. Jona Martins and Jack Laverty, row 8. Primoz Miklovic and Chana Kimchi on row 9. And Andrei Tarabukin and Tom Martinez at the tail end of the field with no lap on the board. Right then, chat, put in your predictions for who's going to take the top spot tonight in PCF2. Oh, for me, difficult to look away from Simon Pyrenee. But then Joost Noordijk's done an absolute belter. I'm going to go the Dutchman this time. Sensible money would say Simon Pyrenee, but I'm going to go with our pole sitter this time. I'm going to vote for Joost Noordijk. Please put into chat who you think is going to take the top spot tonight here at Paul Ricard. Ooh, that cloud cover's not looking good, is it? It's dry at the moment, but we may well be seeing the intermediates at some point. Although it is fairly difficult to see. They might just be, they might just be foggy or something, but or hazy, I should say. You can't really tell from there, but that kind of looks a bit grey, doesn't it? So now waiting for our drivers to load in the correct setups, and then we'll get the parade lap going for round number 4 of this amazing season. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Didn't actually think that would happen. My mistake. I clicked on something thinking I would get away with that. Overcast. Okay, so are we facing a dry race all the same? So maybe a bit cooler temperatures. Tom Martinez. So Razor is confident that Tom can do a last to first. I mean, anything's possible. It's a tall order in this field. It is very overcast, isn't it? That's... ooh, I wouldn't want to be racing in that, but at least it is for the moment dry. What's the tyres looking like? Ooh, okay. Oh, Simon had... Oh no! Trouble for Bernie! Trouble for our championship leader. That's why his Ghost has decided to go for a wander of its own accord. Oh dear. Hopefully, he's able to rejoin Luke Smith and Will Lewis, both qualifying on the medium tyres. Not bad effort there, in fairness, with that taken into consideration. I'm getting a curious mixture of mediums and hards. Simon's game has crashed. Oh no, really hope he's able to get back in quick enough, but with how long the game would take to reconnect, I reckon he's going to be ghosted for a while. Not impossible. Everyone always wants Tom to win, but no one says the other driver. Well, I mean, that's nothing wrong with having fans that join you for the race, let's be honest. I'm just a sucker for good racing, if I'm quite honest. Yes, I've got... I'm thinking Eustace is going to do well this time, but as long as the racing's good, I'll shout about it. I'm in a very privileged position to be able to do so. I very much hope that you lovely people watching in the virtual stands, either live or post-event, enjoy it as much as I do. Simon Perroni has managed to rejoin the session. His Ghost is gone. His Ghost is already rejoining the grid. He's keen to get on with it. Oh, we now have a... Mercedes McLaren sandwich going on. Look away, children. This is not how cars are made. Right then. Ron Hyatt in a good position. He starts 11th on the hard tyres. Now the contra strategy worked really, really well yesterday. Johanna Ottmeyer made that one work. He was my bet before the race began, and he brought it home for the win. The Frenchman's car, though, is still ghosted. So whilst he may have rejoined the session, he may not take control of his car in time. We will see. Tom Martinez, his car is now joining the back of the field. Right then, for round number 4 of season 30, it is time to wind them up and let them go. And that's a pretty decent start from the front row. Simon Perroni, his car is, if it's either ghosted or he's had the disastrous start of the one. No, it isn't ghosted. 3 wide coming into the first turn. Who's going to survive this one? It looks like everybody did. Very nicely done. Richie and Perroni having an argument. That's a disastrous start for the championship leader. He is in control of the car. That's not ghosted. That's just been a disastrous start. It could be that he joined very late, but he's hit the back of the Red Bull. Oh no, massive damage to the front wing of Simon Perroni. Oh, disaster for him, but Joost Noordijk has now got Ruben Pedreño for company as they come onto the Mistral Straight for the first time in anger, as Perroni's just going to plummet through the field. He's going to have to go onto the hard tyres. Lots of jostling further back. Ike Peña has just gone past Perroni as well. Oh my goodness me, the lead hard tyre runner is Thomas Ronhard at the moment. That's Will Lewis getting it a little bit wrong. So the medium tyres now, all medium tyre starters behind the soft runners. My goodness me, as Luke Smith and Will Lewis all swap around as well. Here comes Ron Hart, looking to try and get involved. Now the hard tyres will not be up to full temperature, I would imagine, just yet. I mean, if Pironi can make something work here, that'll be amazing. But I suspect he'll need a safety car in order to have anything. Will he continue or will he park it? We will see. You can, there you go. You can see there's massive damage on the right-hand side of that front wing, and in comes the Alpha. What a shame on his home race as well. There's the pit line, of course, where the pit lane entry is. It confuses the tower slightly, but Nordijk leads Pedreño, leads Jakob, leads Hofland, leads Burrell for the top 5 of the first lap. Then everybody except for Simon Pironi in DRS range to the rest. Someone here sending binoculars as well. Can't help you there, I'm afraid. But what does Pironi do? He's gone hard tyres. He's at least stayed with us. He's opted not to just bin himself out of the session. He had no choice really for tyres. He had to go with the hard option. Chanakinchi is now demoted to the back end of the field. Of course, he's on the harder tyres. Sam West and Sam McBride have swapped round. If I can get the right camera, let's go to that one. Fairly straightforward move on the Mistral Straight. A couple of medium runners a little bit out of position. Jack West, Jack Laverty and Primož Miklovic need to kind of work their way past the hard starters in front of them. We'll see what they're able to do. Pedreño is building a little bit of a gap between himself and Norbert Jakob now, but the McLaren all over the back of the Mercedes. Coming towards Virage de Bendor. Let's see what Yves Nordijk has in store. Now, soft tyres lasted, I think the earliest pitter we had yesterday was around about lap 5. So we will see what the soft starters choose to do. And in comes, oh dear, Chanakinchi is in. So trouble then for the Aston. For the AlphaTauri, beg your pardon. The sun is out, so hopefully we're not going to see any of the wet weather I was worried about. Is that a new front wing going on? Yes, it is. So that's why Chanakinchi's brought his car in. At least Simon Pironi is going to have some company at the tail end of the field. Ron Haas's battery, certainly. That is what Thomas Ron Haas's status is right now. He's about 70%, doing what he needs to stay in touch with Will Lewis ahead. Now, Chanakinchi's gone for the medium tyre. Interesting decision. Oh, there's fidgeting going on towards the tail end of the field. Everybody's remaining in the train, though. That's Laverty and Jack Laverty and Primož Miklovic swapping around now. I think that was a fairly straightforward move for the Haas on the Mistral Straight heading into the chicane. Although Miklovic thinking about trying to counter-attack very, very close to the back of Jack Laverty, but not able to do anything at the moment. Oh no, there was a little bit of impact there, I think, between the two, and Jenno Martins was there to capitalise on that. And already Pironi has lost the position to Chanakinchi, but then Chan running the softer tyres than Simon is. I can't see those medium tyres lasting that long, but best of luck to you. You're banking on either a safety car or wet weather, I would have thought, to make that strategy work. Pedreño staying very, very close to Yves Nordijk with a decent amount of battery available to him. Actually, so does Just. So fairly conservative use of the battery, not quite as comfortable for Norbert Jakob. Around 50%, still a decent amount, but he's had to use more to try and keep up with the top two. Hofland right behind. So a bit of a gap forming between Hofland and Paris Burrell. Oh, trouble! There's Jenno Martins! Jenno Martins has lost a front wing. Where's that? That is at Saint-Bermé. Before you head onto the Mistral Straight, so trouble there. I mean, what on earth happened there? He must have been tagged and then pitched onto the inside wall. So that's both of the Alfa Romeos in trouble. Oh my goodness me. It's getting quite lively there, isn't it? Oh, speaking of lively, well, one Paris Burrell and Jeffrey Ritchie having an argument, you can see at the top of the shot there coming into Cenis, but no change for position there. Or a successful change of position, I should say. Use Nordyke, still fending off Ruben Pedreño. Norbert Jakob has managed to close that gap down between himself and the McLaren, and he's dragging Duncan Hoffland with him. So that two-way battle up front is soon going to become a four-way fight, with not far behind Ritchie and Burrell. And in fairness, Andreas Dormeyer is not that far off the entire pack here is still in good order as Jeffrey Ritchie gets the fastest lap of the race, no doubt benefiting from the slipstream off the back of Paris Burrell as he now stares at the tail end of Duncan Hoffland. So Ika Bainio was first on the penalty board as Jona has made his way back into the pits. So a new front wing, is he going to continue or is he going to park? We will see. Fairly common that drivers that encounter difficulties in the opening laps sometimes park the car rather than opt to get it fixed and back out. Those medium tyres again. So, oh, there goes Pedreño. That was a bit of a late move, but he's managed to complete it in fairness before the braking zone. That was later than I was expecting. And used again, he would have known that there was nothing he could have realistically done against the McLaren, and so that's the Spaniard now up into the top spot at the moment, but there's plenty of racing, and here comes the Dutchman. Is he going to have an argument with Ruben Pedreño? Not here, at least. Oh, close. Very, very close. Bendor. Galabon, and then into Rose de la Tour. Looks like Pedreño is eager to try and make a gap between himself and the Mercedes. The Jeffrey Ritchie now comes in. Now that could be for tyres, as the soft tyres didn't really last too much longer than this yesterday, and there's quite a few fast corners, and it's hard tyres onto Jeffrey Ritchie's car, onto the Red Bull, and out he comes then. An early stop. The undercut didn't really do much for the field yesterday. But on he goes nonetheless. We'll see how he's able to do it. He should be quite comfortably ahead of the tail three. Simon Perroni is actually staying really close to the back of Chanakinji as well. But Pedreño is now going to have a challenge from Joest. Joest doesn't go for it, but Norbert Jakob. Was Andreas? No, Andreas. Oh, hang on. Both the Ferraris are having an argument with someone. Oh, I see. So Norbert Jakob went to the defensive line and Duncan Hoffland. So, well, fine. I'll just stick to the racing line then. Through into third for Hoffland. And Andreas Dormeyer lost a position to Luke Smith. So both of the Ferraris having their day made a little bit worse. But on they go nonetheless. Wow, that was very, very close. Luke Smith's having a pretty good run, actually. Starting on the medium tyres, now up into 6th place. But we'll see. We'll see if he's able to make that work. Medium tyres on this circuit kind of almost feel a bit out of place because the hard tyres are a very popular starting tyre for those on the Contra strategy. So that kind of makes me think the medium tyres are, it's a bit of a gamble. But we'll see. Luke Smith in the back of Paris Burrell now. The soft tyres are really beginning to wane now. So now the medium starters, well, the hard starters as well should start to come good, but the medium tyres are most certainly into their operating range. They have been for a couple of laps now. As Jeffrey Ritchie now with completely clean air should hopefully get some decent lap times in down in 17th as Primož Miklovic gets his name on the penalty board. Dormeyer and Will Lewis now having an argument side by side coming through the Saint-Dumais. Onto the Mistral straight, Will Lewis in the Haas having to take a bit of avoiding action but does complete the move on the Ferrari. Dormeyer thinking about a return move, and right ahead of us we can see Burrell and Smith side by side coming into the chicane, but Will Lewis has... How the hell did Will Lewis slow that down without collecting Paris Burrell? That was a bit of a gritty teeth and determination. Here comes Ronhaar! Thomas Ronhaar with the Ferrari slightly out of position and very dead tyres. The McLaren said, yep, I'll have some of this, sunshine, thank you. Wow, great stuff. Whoops, as Dormeyer nudges the back of Ronhaar coming through the Double Dubassé. My goodness me, and right ahead, Paris Burrell. Oh, that's a spin, that's Will Lewis round. Will Lewis has spun, he's ghosted so he can return to track without influencing others. Chanakinchi's got his name on the penalty board. There's Andre Terebukin just coming past the Haas as well. Oh no, Pitters now. Both Ferraris have come in at once. Oh dear, that's going to hurt Dormeyer. And, well, there's no way that the Ferrari pit crew are going to get yak about that fast. The second Ferrari is going to have to queue. Oh, that's going to be painful. And, well, the graphics are a little bit disrupted there, as we know. Oh dear, Andreas Dormeyer's had his race somewhat compromised by double stacking behind his teammate. But now Luke Smith is really working his way through the soft runners. What can he do then? Can he close in on the top three? Well, he certainly can. He's got the pace to do it. Here comes Noordijk. Not willing to just let the laps turn down. He's wanting that lead back, which is exactly what the Dutchman's done. And back up into the lead. Through the chicane. And back onto the Meester Straight. On board with Duncan Hoffman. He's got a great ringside seat for the battle ahead of him. Luke Smith about 7 tenths back. Everyone else is probably just following the laps at the moment, making their tyres last the distance they need to. Oh, that is close. That is very, very close. Keeping it on the track though. Pressing on. Paris Burrell's falling a bit off the back of Luke Smith, and that's more into the pits. That's the top two. Noordijk, Pedreño, and that I think was Paris Burrell. Yes, Paris Burrell going into the pits. So Duncan Hoffman, he didn't fancy double stacking behind his teammate, and probably quite wise. I think Andreas Dormeyer is really going to stop. Well, yeah, there you go. You can see on the tower, he's 7.5 seconds behind his teammate, as Dormeyer has made his day even worse by getting his name on the penalty board. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So, and it's medium tyres for Noordijk, Pedreño and Burrell. Well, the clouds are clearing away, so no one is counting on rain. And Dormeyer has retired from the session. He's parked his car. He's brought it back into the pits. He's opted not to continue. Oh dear. Frustration getting the better of him. Here comes Luke Smith on Duncan Hoffman. There's no way he's going to be able to defend. Those soft tyres are absolutely ruined by now. So Luke Smith now your race leader. As Miklovic has just lost a spot. Same move really just performed by Terebukin in the Alpine on the Aston Martin. Trouble in sector 3. Oh, that's Andres Dormeyer's car coming back on the track, but it will. It shouldn't cause any particular issue there. It should just pull off and mind his own business, hopefully. Terebukin has got a fair amount of company from the Aston. They always get so close in this section. So look at Ron Haar right on the tail of Duncan Hoffman now. The McLaren probably being held up a bit. And, I mean, that was a little bit of Duncan Hoffman pitting as well as Ron Haar going on the inside line. But what's the gap between Smith and Ron Haar? It is 8 tenths of a second. So Thomas Ron Haar remaining in DRS range to Luke Smith. I mean, he would have had DRS anyway off the back of Duncan Hoffman, who goes under the medium tyres as well. So the medium starters have a fair amount of work to do to make those tyres work for them, I would say. On they go nonetheless. Where is Duncan Hoffman going to reappear? There he is. He's going to reappear in 16th position. Where is Used? He's there. Still with, well, Jeffrey Ritchie trying the undercut. It's actually worked quite well for him. He's up to second now. He was 5th, I believe, at the pit stop beginning. So that's actually worked really well for the Red Bull. But Used Noordijk wasting no time at all as Andre Terebukin and Primož Miklovic swap round into the chicane. Straightforward move there. There's Tom Martinez. Oh, is Tom going to have a go? Miklovic defending very, very hard from Terebukin. They're going to be side by side now coming into this Curva de Sinis. Is Tom Martinez going to use a momentum going into the Dubussy? He's going for it. He's committed to the move side by side with Andre Terebukin, who's going to win out the Red Bull, getting very quickly on the exit with the Alpine having the inside line coming towards Bandor. And no, now the Alpine gets quickly trying to get the power down, and that is the move complete for Tom Martinez up into 8th position. Nicely done. Tiny bit of a love tap there from the Alpine, but on they go nonetheless. Nicely done, Tom Martinez. Good stuff. Luke Smith still maintaining a slim lead from Thomas Ronhart. Ikebania is now up into that top pack. Of course, he started on the hard tyres. Oh, the fastest lap now changing hands between Nordyke and Pedreño. Oh, what's happened to Tarabukin? He's lost the spot to Will Lewis. Into that Virage to Cam. That's a bit of an unusual one. Just going to move one of my windows here. Bear with me a second. Just want to make sure that everything is working all right. Apologies for that. Ron Hart has overtaken Luke Smith coming into the chicane. So the medium tyres or the medium starters may well be struggling a little bit as Martinez has gotten ahead of Primož Miklovic, as you can see ahead of us. Oh, Will Lewis got a bit squiggly coming out of the chicane. Oh, side by side, Jack West is sent off into absolute orbit at that point. Ikebania getting his elbows out on the inside line of DeCinis. Wow, Struth. That was forceful. My word. As Simon Perroni has now gotten ahead of Channa Kinchi. The medium tyres, I'm not convinced, are working too well for some cars. Duncan Hoffland's gotten ahead of Paris Burrell as well further down the field. At the same place, actually. And they've got Norbert Jakob for company. Luke Smith now in the pits. So he's ditching those medium tyres. Shortly, that's going to be hard tyres for him then. Along with, well, that's curious. Tarabukin's in as well. Is that front wing damage for the Alpine? That's an odd time. That's way too early for the hard runners or hard starters. So it's hard tyres indeed for Luke Smith. Yep, that's the front nose. That's a front nose, yep, as opposed to a rear nose, obviously. That's a new front wing then for Andre Tarabukin. Medium tyres, yep, that from that point probably could make them work, although he'll be struggling a bit towards the end. Oh, another penalty on the board. Sam McBride's turn this time. Ron Hard leads Bania, leads West. Then a little bit of a gap. There's McBride and Jack Laverty. The Haas having a look on the inside line, coming into the chicane on the Williams with no such luck this time around. And a little bit further back is Tom Martinez with a bit of company there that he's dealt with earlier of Miklovic and Will Lewis. And then it's our earlier pitters, I should say, Use Nordyke with a 1.2 second gap over Ruben Pedreño at this stage. Struth, he's getting on with it. He wants to make the best of his strategy. Well, don't they always? But he's really kind of leaving Ruben Pedreño in no man's land at this stage. Now, Jeffrey Ritchie was ahead of Pedreño earlier on. Now he's got Duncan Hoffland for company. So is the Red Bull going to be able to fend off the second Mercedes? And also, not far behind, is the AlphaTauri of Paris Burrell with Norbert Jakob in hot pursuit as well. Former race leader Luke Smith in 15th position, as you can see from that camera shot, not far off the back of the nearest competitor there and closing in pretty quickly. And also, Simon Perroni is still pressing on. I don't think it's going to be very much damage limitation for the local man. Oh, that's Hoffland on Jeffrey Ritchie. A good exit from the final turn. And job done before they get to the Valerie S's. And off and then up into 11th. What should end up being third by the time all the pit stops are done and dusted. That's what the top train's looking like at the moment. Well, I say top train. Actually, it's not the top train at all. No, wrong Haas is that one I should have been going for. So 5-car train for the lead at the moment, led by Thomas Ronhart. With Ikebania, good to see a bit more of a return to form for him. Still yet to see the medium starters come in. I don't reckon it's going to be too much longer before the medium starters have to ditch those yellow wall tyres. An early gamble either on the weather or on a early safety car has not paid off for them, I wouldn't think. I would think the hards are going to be good for another 6-ish laps, a rough guess. We'll see. Of course, Use Nordyke is... Wow, Use is flying. He's still trying to build that gap back to Ruben Pedreño, but he is decimating the gap between himself and Will Lewis. Yes, of course, Will's tyres are quite a bit older, as you can see on the tower. There's another penalty for Miklovic. That's going to really hurt towards the tail end of the race. On he goes nonetheless. Ron Hart, Bania and West, and McBride and Laverty still in that top group. Is Ikebania going to be able to make a move with this? Oh, as you can see on that camera shot, they're fairly equidistant apart. So they're just kind of preserving their tyres somewhat. They want to do kind of a soft run at the end, I'm thinking, is certainly what the hard runners are going to look to do. And that was the winning strategy from yesterday. Oh, thank you, Edwin. It's Joost. I've heard that before. I've heard his name was pronounced as Joost, but for some odd reason my brain is just failing me today. I've been saying his name wrong all night. It's Joost Noordijk. My apologies. Thank you for the correction. It's always something I do try. I do always try and get people's names right. It's, you know, it's who they are. It's their identity. So I'm always very keen to get that right. Thomas Ronhar using a fair amount of battery. Actually the same as Ikebania. So the Aston Martin's in no better position. Oh wow, Jack West, very little battery left. He's pushing very, very hard ahead of his teammate. And neither Williams in good shape. Jack Laverty's in okay shape compared to the rest, but that battery usage is certainly going to play its part as the race goes on. As we're still some distance away. A little bit of a gap forming there between the Williams pair. Third to fourth. Jack West doing a decent job, but his medium tyres are probably starting to cry now. I'm expecting somewhere around lap 18 for the hard runners to come in, so the medium tyres are probably beyond their best now. But they are probably going to try and stretch them out to also do a soft tyre run at the end of the race. We will see. I think it's a bit of a stretch for the mediums to do that. I mean, I'm only guessing here, I'll be honest. That gap for Tom is growing. He's losing time against the top pack, or he's not losing time against Miklovic and Will Lewis behind. So that pack of three still fairly close together, but the gap for Joost has shrunk the wrong way. Pedreño is now back in DRS range, but I think that's more the Spaniard pushing more than there's a problem for the Dutchman, because that gap back from Pedreño to Hofland's now 2.2 seconds from the McLaren to the second Mercedes, and Hofland certainly has a lot of company there in the form of Ritchie, Burrell and Norbert Jakob. Vic Smith has fallen off the back. Oh, but no, bigger button, he hasn't caught the back of that pack yet, so his hard tyres are freshest of everybody. So we could well see a late charge from Luke Smith. That's another 3-second penalty for Ikebania. And that kind of puts him close to the clutches of Tom Martinez at this point. So that could definitely prove a problem. And the medium runners are definitely stretching those tyres now. They are going to start to fall. So that's Jack West, Jack Laverty, Primož Miklovic and Will Lewis. And to a degree, Channa Kinchi as well. Confidence for Thomas Ronhar. Well, he's in a great position to do it. Where is Joost Noordijk? Well, it's 4.5 seconds between himself and Will Lewis now. That pack of five still not really jostling for position, are they? They're not kind of peeking out from one another. Any steady stage of the race at the moment. So I think people learning from the race yesterday in particular, whereas last season was the other way around. F2 happened before F1, so the F1 drivers got the benefit of the F2 drivers being their guinea pigs. Whereas this time, it was the top tier that are showing what to do and what not to do. Although, like I say, it was the contra strategy that actually worked for Jarno Opmeer in particular, who took the victory in the F1 tier yesterday. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you do so, but after today's broadcast, of course. And in comes Will Lewis. So, yeah, that's longer than I expected the mediums to go, but in he comes then, and I bet you that's a pair of softs going on for him. Hards would seem to be overkill. If I can pick up his card. There he is. Is it softs? It is indeed. So he's going to be really, really quick for a while, and hopefully for long enough. When is the hard to soft transfer? I reckon it's about 18 was what I was thinking of. But Will Lewis has opted to pull the trigger, and the Williams pair swapping around. Sam McBride and Jack West are the usual overtaking spot at the top of the chicane. Absolutely, a lot of good Dutch drivers. The Dutch nationality proving very, very strong in sim racing these days. Jack Laverty doing a good job of hanging on to the back of the Williams pair. Now with Will Lewis pitting, there's a gap in between third and second. The penalties will have their part to play when the checkered flag falls. Keeping an eye on Will Lewis, but there's no one to gauge him against at the moment. There's Simon Perroni behind. And that's Jack Weston. Is Jack Laverty going to follow him? Nope. What about Miklovic? No. So Jack West then following suit from Will Lewis. Let's see what is going to happen here. Jack West, of course, going to the softs. No one's going to be putting hards on now. I think that might be a bit of a stretch for the softs, but then the mediums were probably just dying really, really badly. You know, they could have been in puncture territory for the medium tyres. Don't know is the honest answer. Laverty's suddenly listed as last, so have we got a sync problem there possibly? Oh, that's why. Here's Jack Laverty has had a disconnection, so his car will now be orbiting. His game has crashed. That's why he's dropped to the bottom of the field, so he's now a ghost. Will Lewis, that's another penalty on the board. It's quite a few of them, but not very many drivers, so quite a few people having quite a few penalties. Let's just cycle that through again. And one for Jona Martins now. So 6 seconds for Bania, 3 for McBride, 6 for Miklovic, 3 for Lewis, Kinchi and Martins. Oh dear, speeding in the pit lane penalty. Yep, that's usually followed by a retirement. So Jona Martins has parked it, and Janik Kinchi has just added to his penalty count as well. Come on, where are you? There you go, that's what I was looking for. So, and there goes Miklovic. So he's now looking to try and get in with the soft pitters. Where's West? Now in 13th position. So he is 5.5 seconds ahead of Will Lewis. And he's not far off the back of Luke Smith. There you can see the hard shot. Luke Smith just in the distance there. That's what 1.7 seconds looks like in these things. And Janik. Oh! Wow, that was close. Struth, that was very, very close indeed. So Janik Kinchi has got speeding in the penalty. Is he looking to retire his car? We will see in a minute. Soft tyres going on, so it looks like he's out there for some fun now. Well. I think this is mainly strategies that are playing out. We haven't seen too many incidents, although Ikebania is getting very, very close to Thomas Ronhaar now. That is very, very close between the Aston Martin and the McLaren. Aston McLaren, I nearly said there. Or the McMartin. 7.5 seconds separates McBride and Martinez now. As the top 4 yet to see the pit lane, so Joost Noordijk still in a strong position. But he's got Ruben Pedreño very, very close now. So the gap that he did enjoy has long since gone between the Dutchman and the Spaniard. Dogan Hofland is now 3 seconds behind those two, still with Ritchie and Burrell and Jakob for company. So there's still fighting to be done. Still places to conclude. Now, I thought these guys would be in by now to get rid of the hard tyres, and I would imagine they're just waiting for someone to pull the trigger. We will see, we will see. Also keeping half an eye on Jack West as well, and how those that have just gone onto the soft tyres are going to fare. Now, Will Lewis has definitely had a problem. There goes Ikebania, making the move on Thomas Ronhaar, but he's not finished it! Oh, side by side into the chicane! I think Ikebania was a little bit too late on the move, couldn't get it done before the McLaren entered the chicane as well. And Ronhaar said, no, you will not pass this Dutchie on the left-hand side, and returns back to the lead, although Ikebania says, yeah, hold my beer, I'm having some of this. Outside line, bit of a bump between the two. Surely that is going to be advantage Ronha. Yep, a little bit of elbows out, and Ikebania has to remain in second position for the time being. Is this a sign, though, that tyres are beginning to fade? Because Ikebania just could not get that move done and could not get the drive out of the chicane. Into the pits comes 1, 2, and 3. Is Martinez going to follow suit? No. Tom Martinez is stretching his tyres out another lap. I don't feel he's going to gain by doing that. So we will see. We will see. Now it's going to be quali laps for the remaining 8 laps for those on the soft tyres. So it's really, at the moment, eyes on Joost Noordijk and Ruben Pedreño for the potential win. Let's see how this plays out. Now, where does Ronha reappear? He's in 10th. 3 seconds actually behind Jack West. So that's actually worked out quite well for Jack. But he's still got a lot of cars to try and get past. And those tyres, being 3 laps older, of course, that makes a big difference on the soft tyres. So that's going to be a difficult job for him to complete. But, we'll see. We will see indeed. Pedreño getting very close. Chanakinji just reminding us he's still in the race. With the fastest lap down in 17th. Fair play. Pedreño is starting to get impatient now. And those medium tyres are not going to have a great deal of life left in them. They'll have enough to get to the end, but they're going to struggle, I think, by the time the checkered flag falls. And that gap 3rd to 4th is continuing to increase. And the pack behind Hofland are rather minding their own business at the moment. Oh, just as I say that, Jack West gets past Luke Smith, but oh, look at that! Outside manoeuvre, Virage de Bendor. My goodness me. In comes Tom Martinez. That's absolutely fantastic move from these soft shod Williams. Very nicely done indeed. I mean, why not? He's got the tyres. He may as well use them. And in comes Will Lewis. And that's a retirement. So he must have had trouble. And that is a 3rd retirement. Then the Haas is going to park that one. So Joost leads Pedreño. Try again. Noordijk leads Pedreño. Hofland leads Ritchie, Burrell and Jakob, with West hot on their heels. So don't discount Jack West, but if we keep an eye on Thomas Ronha, only 1.2 seconds now between himself and Luke Smith, or less than that. He's going to be in DRS range by the time they come back round to this point next lap. So he's not looking too bad, in fairness. And there's been time lost there, 2nd to 3rd. Suddenly that gap is under 3 seconds. So perhaps there was an overtake there from Pedreño, which I missed. Apologies for that if that is the case. And that gap has definitely shrunk between Pedreño and Hofland. And there they go. You can just see them like ants in the distance. Well, let's see what can be done here. Keeping an eye on Jack West as well. The lead of the soft tyre runners now. He's in this pack then behind. That's the pack behind Hofland. Very little battery energy for Jack West to use. Ikebania, nope, Sam McBride. There's an argument over fastest lap, but that's not really a surprise. With the soft runners and their tyres now up to optimum temperature. Ikebania, whilst I was looking away, is now ahead of Thomas Ronha, but of course Ikebania carrying 6 seconds worth of penalties. And surely Luke Smith isn't going to have an answer to this. Almost being pushed is the Alpine by the Aston Martin. Sam McBride now adds to his penalty score. Here comes the Aston. Yeah, a fairly straightforward move there on Luke Smith. And Luke Smith knew it. That's the view from Thomas Ronha. And Chanakinchi adding to his penalty score as well. Oh, side by side, Luke Smith. I'm not sure he intended to do that. But that's, of course, compromised his exit. Oh, squiggly. Here comes Thomas Ronha. That's going to put him on the outside line of Corbett de Sinis. Can he get it done? Whoa, lots of squabbling going on. That was Jakob and West side by side. McLaren side by side with the Alpine. Everyone utilising their soft tyres very, very nicely. That's the wrong car. That's the one I was aiming for. It was Jack West. He's managed to get past Norby Jakob. Ronha ahead of Smith. My word, it is happening in the last few laps of the race. Great stuff. McBride has gotten ahead of Smith as well. So Luke Smith is plummeting at this point, but then he's never going to have an answer to the soft, freshly soft shod cars. Oh my goodness me, that's Ika Bainey and Norbert Jakob coming together. Trouble then for the Ferrari. There goes Ronhaar as well. I'm going to really struggle to be able to keep up with who's where at this point. As Norbert Jakob now has a penalty. I'm glad I don't have to make a note of these. I'm glad the computer does it for me. Look at Ika Bainey now almost pushing Jack West along. Oh, Ronhaar! What a move! He couldn't quite get it done though, as Chandler Kinchy has retired his car in the pits. Thomas Ronhaar tried a great inside manoeuvre there at Virage de Camp, but could not pull that off, and that's cost him a good half a second on Ika Bainey, who's trying to get past Jack West. Oh, this could get a bit ugly. Who's going to come out to Simon Pireni gets a time penalty side by side between the Aston and the Williams. And the Aston has to concede, and that's brought Thomas Ronhaar back into the battle. Good Lord! Let's see what happens here. They're not gaining on the top two at the moment, at least. 4 to go. 3.5 to go, I should really say. Here comes Ronhaar on Ika Bainey. Not at the moment, at least. Whoa, my word, Ika Bainey. Big move as he bounces off of Jack West. Jack has to go wide, and he's going to lose a position to Ronhaar as well. Oh, there could be words said about that one as Jack West has lost another few positions into the pits. He comes. That's going to be another retirement. That's speeding at the pit lane penalty. I would think that's going to be another retirement on the books. Yost is defending for all he's worth at the moment. Paris Burrell side by side, or was, with Thomas Ronhaar. And there you go, Jack West. Well, he's left the session. His car's still going. As Sam McBride and Paris Burrell side by side. Oh, wow! Did Sam McBride play a risky game? Luke Smith now with a penalty. Good Lord! Richie losing 2 positions. And look away, it's Ronhaar and Bainey that are putting the moves on at the moment. Struth alive, 2.5 laps to go. Thomas Ronhaar on Ika Bainey coming into the chicane. Who's going to win out on this one? It's McLaren versus Aston. 2 British marks having an argument. Oh, in between the two. Ronhaar gets very quickly on the exit of the chicane. Bainey's still not got the move done. They're going to be side by side through Cenis. Jeffrey Ritchie's got the best seat in the house at the moment. He's going to try and sweep past Thomas Ronhaar. And Ika Bainey, bounces off of the Aston and has to relent. And then Sam McBride says, I'm joining this party as well. My word, they're all happening in the final few laps. Struth, Ronhaar on the inside of Ika Bainey. Let's jump aboard with Sam McBride. Ika Bainey is still not letting this go. There's half a lap these two have been arguing. To me, to you, to me, to you. And Ika Bainey now on the inside line for the final turns. Thomas Ronhaar still not giving it up. Duncan Hoffland is just like, yeah, you carry on. Thomas Ronhaar. Yeah, I'm not surprised you got a penalty for that. Now that could be, that one could be appealed in the stewards because he was rather forced out there, but he didn't have to maintain the line. Still's going. And now Ronhaar has to stop behind Ronhaar. Behind Ronhaar. Yeah, well done me. Ronhaar behind Bainey. Good Lord. Absolutely amazing. And the top two are just kind of having a Sunday drive. They're just like, yeah. We'll just admire the scenery here as long as I remain ahead. Now, Jeffrey Ritchie on the penalty board as he's gotten past Paris Burrell. My goodness me, that's Luke Smith. That was Luke Smith staring at Jeffrey Ritchie. Paris Burrell now down into 9th. Oh, just as I say they're staying in position, Ruben Pedreño's chosen now to get past Joost Noordijk, and Ika Bainey has now gotten past Duncan Hoffland. Luke Smith is falling down the field. Oh, he's off! Oh, Luke Smith is in the Alpines, had trouble down at the chicane, and that's dropped him down at the 10th place. My voice is dying here, ladies and gentlemen. Struth. Hoffland was trying to attack back on Ika Bainey there, and I was just about to say, I wonder where Thomas Ronhaar is, and there he is. He's determined to stay on the back of Ika Bainey, but he's going to inherit that position anyway. But can they close in on the top two? We're about to start the last lap. Now, has Pedreño timed this too early? Because surely Joost Noordijk is going to attack the Spaniard back in the exact same way on the chicane. 2.3 seconds back to Ika Bainey and Thomas Ronhaar. Well, technically a group, but it's Bania and Ronhard that have been producing the incredible entertainment there. Duncan Offland is going to benefit as well because he hasn't got any penalties, whereas the two ahead of him do. Oh my goodness, Ronhard again, just nailed to the back of Ikebania. I think if they had another lap, they'd probably be up with these two, unless Pedreño and Nordijk come together. Here we go. This is where things are going to be settled. Onto the Mistral Straight once again. Pedreño goes to the defensive line. Nordijk, slipstream, DRS, everything he can dump. Perroni reminds us he's still with us. He's forced to the outside line of the chicane, but he's going to jump ahead of Ruben Pedreño. Joost Nordijk has managed to get the move done. Thomas Ronhart is ahead of Ikebania. There's going to be all for nothing anyway, but he's pressing on nonetheless. Can Nordijk hold on for the final sector in this incredible race? We had a fairly settled middle part of the race, but wow, did it all come alive in the final few laps. Can the Dutchman beat the Spaniard? McBride and Offland side by side. The Mercedes has no chance in that one. The Williams with much better tyres. There's Martinez and Miklovic having an argument just outside the top 10. But it does look like it is going to go the way of the Mercedes this time around. And it is indeed your winner here in France. Is going to be the Dutchman in the Mercedes of Joost Nordijk. Ruben Pedreño comes home second. Now the penalty game starts. Where is Ron? Ronhard remained in third. No, he didn't. Duncan Offland has just pipped him by 0.7 of a second to that third place spot. So it's Mercedes McLaren for the top four spots. Burrell 5th, Bania 6th, Ritchie 7th, McBride 8th, Jakob 9th, and Martinez rounds out the top 10 with Smith, Miklovic, Tarabukin, Perroni, West and Laverty still circulating. Wow, Joost Nordijk. I've got 2 for 2. I got both of the predictions, one for F1 and one for F2 correct. I managed to guess the Yarnawat Miv yesterday, and I managed to guess Joost Nordijk for today. Oh, what a race. Well done. Well done, F2. You did a great job yet again. Tom Martinez, driver of the day. Well, I mean, he started last and ended up in 10th. Yeah, fair play. Why not? Oh, and there it is. What a great race. 2 Dutch flags and 1 Spanish flag on the podium. Yeah. Maybe I should, Jess. Maybe I should. Oh, Struth. I need a drink after that. Honestly, that was amazing. Oh. So this is before Stewart's intervention. It is Joost Nordijk, Ruben Pedreño, Duncan Offland, Thomas Ronhart, Paris Burrell for the top 5. Ikebania, Jeffrey Miguel, Ritchie, Sam McBride, Norbert Jakob, Tom Martinez down to 10th with Luke Smith, Primoz Miklovic, Andre Tarabukin, Seymour Perroni, Jack West, Jack Laverty, Channa Kinchi. Channa Kinchi didn't finish. Down to 16th did. And we lost Kinchi, Lewis, Martins and Dormeyer. Oh, if the drivers aren't knackered, I absolutely am. But that was a fantastic race. Now we're going to give our drivers a few minutes to gather their thoughts and regain their composure. Interview music on. Let's see if anybody wants to come and have a chat. It is not mandatory for the drivers to come and chat to me, but it is always nice to get their views on what we have just witnessed. Oh, has anybody appeared? Not yet. Well, thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. It is a great pleasure to have you along for the ride. Thank you very much to those catching up post-event. Always welcome. Oh, goodness me. The F1 race may have had more thrills and spills in it, but that doesn't mean that this race was disappointing. Fantastic work, again, by the F2 drivers. Certainly those that made it towards the end. You know, Paul Ricard is not an easy circuit by any stretch of the imagination. No movement as yet from our drivers. As I say, we'll give them some time. Not everybody likes to come and have a chat. Particularly if English isn't the first language, then that's understandable. We understand that. But like I say, it's not mandatory for people to come and have a talk to us. It is nice to get the feedback from the drivers on how things have gone. But we'll see what they have to say. if they have anything to say, and what they have to say might not be stream friendly anyway. You have to bear that one in mind as well. Oh, usually what happens at this point is I start wrapping the stream up and then we get a flurry of drivers. Oh. At the moment, it's looking like no one wants to come and have a chat, and quite frankly, I'm exhausted, so I am actually going to wrap it up at this point. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live or post-event. It's a great pleasure, as always. Next week is a break week, so everybody gets a chance to have a rest and collect their thoughts. So 2 weeks' time, we will be at Hungary. And what a circuit that is, the Monaco without walls. And that is going to be really telling for our drivers. But please do join us in 2 weeks' time for more racing here at PSGL. Until then, thank you very much and good night.